In her desire to play college basketball, Lauren Hill helped raise awareness of the horrors of pediatric brain cancer. She wanted to feel like a superhero as she battled DIPG.
And before she left, she passed on her superhero powers to a little boy named Luke Napke. He's battling a different kind of brain cancer. Brad Johansson has an update on the boy she dubbed Super Luke. Brad?
Yeah, Super Luke has been living with NF1. It's neurofibromatosis. It's the same condition that my youngest son was diagnosed with as an infant, but Braden's never manifested. Super Luke, the battle may be lifelong.
Keep it on the ground.
Keep it on the wood.
Measurements can be tricky.
It's 4, 1. It's 8.
And numbers don't always provide the constant. 5-year-old Colin is the picture of health. His 5-year-old twin, his picture's more blurry.
He's had chemo for 2 years. For 2 years in a row, 77 doses of chemotherapy.
Luke Napke's first brain tumor showed up in the hypothalamus, and it looked bad. It sounded worse.
It has a name called pyelomyxoid astrocytoma.
The measurements were alarming, but the chemo worked to shrink it within 6 months. Great news.
I try to be positive, but I just feel like I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
We noticed was that there was a new area that popped up that you can see here.
A second tumor, resistant to the first chemotherapy, one tumor dying, one growing. So a new kind of chemo was needed, but the same weekly process. Monday night preps.
You are doing an awesome job.
A nurse to the house to access the port in Luke's chest for 3 to 5 hours of chemo every Tuesday until last October. And then one MRI showed that one tumor was dormant, the second was shrinking. So doctors gave Luke something he'd never had, a break. Let's stop chemo and see. And what happened was Luke became like the other 5-year-old he lived with.
He was playing with his brother. He was participating in activities outside, but he was never jumping. He was never running fast. He was never climbing on furniture, jumping on his bed. He never did that. And his doctor's like, he's never felt good.
So this access from Nurse Jenny is to flush the line for the anesthesiologist for the next day's MRI to see if just maybe both tumors are now stable and dying.
People call it scanxiety, like from the scan. So it does start like I'm short, I'm totally stressed.
Use your muscles.
Which carries through to the next morning's arrival at Children's. The scan will take about an hour and then hours of waiting to hear from Dr. Chow, just praying for tiny measurements.
Just a little hint of a darkness right there that could correspond to this central darkening.
But you would call it stable?
Very stable. As long as it remains exactly the same size, then my assumption is that the cells are dead.
The sound of success. No more chemo for now. And the chances for more tumors decreases as he ages. As far as developmental delays, well, it's too early to tell. Luke was given a cape from his hero, and he promised her to continue the fight. His impact? Right now, it's hard to measure.
I want people to know his face, know what's going on with him, so we can draw more awareness. So he's a little fighter.
And it's hard not to be happy around the guy. If only the rest of us could fight through our worst struggles with a smile on our face like Luke does. So very good news this week. We're happy for the Napkes, and hopefully that will continue as well.
He's a brave little guy.
Yes, he is.
Adorable, too. Thank you, Brad.
You bet.